Good afternoon, and thanks for having us in. A Timberlake man has pleaded not guilty to murdering a young mother on her birthday. 34-year-old Jeffrey Vio Jr. is accused of killing 25-year-old Eden One Feather on April 13th. Court documents say he beat her to death. One Feather's obituary says she lived in Little Eagle and had 4 young children. According to court records, Vio has been charged with domestic abuse at least 3 times since 2017, and One Feather has filed protection orders against him. The news comes on a day set aside to honor and remember Native Americans who have been the victims of violence. The federal government has named today National Missing or Murdered Indigenous Persons Awareness Day. The goal is to address the underlying causes of violence and prevent future crimes. South Dakota Urban Indian Health will hold a candle-lit vigil in Sioux Falls and Pierre in honor of the day. Doors will open for the Sioux Falls event at 6:00 p.m. at the organization's downtown Sioux Falls location. There will be music, speakers, and the reading of names of people who have been murdered, harmed, or are missing. If you have a relative you would like honored at one of the events, there's a form linked to this report online on KELOLAND.com. Sioux Falls police have arrested a 45-year-old resident of the city for disorderly conduct, as well as sexual exploitation of a minor. David Brent Saylor allegedly made gestures simulating masturbation to a 16-year-old girl. Police say Saylor is familiar to law enforcement. We'll take a closer look at this case and his criminal history later tonight on KELOLAND News. Police in Aberdeen are investigating a social media post referencing threats of a school shooting to happen today. Authorities say they received several calls about the post around 10 o'clock last night. Officials say the calls reference a photo that has been circulated on social media. Police say the image appears to be the same one going around in other parts of the country. Now, officials say there does not appear to be a credible threat to the Aberdeen school system. As a precaution, Aberdeen police will have an increased presence in Aberdeen area schools throughout the day. Authorities say they may release additional information in the coming days. Turning to weather, we do have chances for rain in the coming days. Let's check in with meteorologist Megan Chatter for the details.
Well, good afternoon, Dan. Good afternoon, KELOLAND. We do have plenty of sunshine this afternoon. We will start watching some of those rain and thunder showers pop up through the day. Right now, 71 with a look at downtown Sioux Falls, keeping those winds relatively light. Our temperatures this afternoon are already above normal for this time of year in the 60s and low 70s. We'll continue those temperatures the next couple of days. And like I said, the winds are light, upwards of 15 miles an hour, so we could see gusts nearing 20 this afternoon. If we take a look at satellite, we can see a band of clouds from about Buffalo down to the Black Hills and back towards Pine Ridge, and another portion of clouds across southeastern KELOLAND. Now, if we go under those clouds with KELOLAND Live Doppler, we can see rain showers in western South Dakota. They are dying down as we head through the day. But if we go to southeastern KELOLAND, we can see a few lightning strikes out of those rain showers and thunder showers. Those will continue moving to the north and east out of our area this afternoon. For today, we'll have highs in the 70s, 71 in Sioux Falls, 72 Aberdeen, 74 in Pierre, and 65 in Rapid City. We'll watch those rain and thunder shower chances mainly south of Highway 14 as we head through today. For tonight, we'll keep the winds light, low of 55 in Sioux Falls, 47 in Aberdeen, 50 in Pierre, and 45 in Rapid City. The rain chances do become more widespread through tonight. Tomorrow is our better chance to see rain and thunderstorms. 70 Sioux Falls, 63 in Aberdeen, 70 in Pierre, and 68 in Rapid City. And we take a quick glance at Sunday, we have another chance to see rain showers and even a thunder shower or two, along with the winds picking up, highs in the 60s and 70s. I'll take a closer look at those rain chances in just a little bit.
Thank you, Megan. Today, the World Health Organization announced it is ending the emergency it declared for COVID-19 more than 3 years ago. The announcement doesn't change much since many countries have already ended their states of emergency and lifted most public health restrictions. Next week, the COVID Public Health Emergency Declaration is ending in the United States. Michael George spoke with CDC doctors about what this means in the future in the fight against COVID.
It's a turning point in the 3-year fight against COVID. On May 11th, the nation's COVID-19 public health emergency will officially expire. But CDC Deputy Director Dr. Nirav D. Shah says that doesn't mean COVID is gone.
Does this at all change how the American public should treat COVID? COVID-19 remains a risk, even though the public health emergency is coming to a close, especially for Americans who are immune compromised.
What the end of the public health emergency means is a shift in how the government fights COVID. Free tests won't be as readily available, and the CDC will no longer collect state and local data on COVID cases.
Dr. Shaw, why now? Why is the public health emergency being ended?
There are a few reasons. The first is that the nature of COVID-19 is different now than it was 1, 2, or 3 years ago. Because of the work of getting vaccinated, getting tests available, and getting therapies, it's not the acute emergency that it was before. That's a good thing, even though it remains a risk.
But the CDC says it will continue to track the disease using data from labs, hospitals, and emergency departments. And doctors believe by testing wastewater, they can detect future COVID outbreaks quickly. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
The CDC recommends people over 65 and those with compromised immune systems keep up to date on their COVID booster shots. U.S. health regulators are weighing the first ever request to make a birth control pill available without a prescription. On Friday, the FDA posted its initial review of a decades-old pill that could become the first drug of its kind to move over the counter. But the agency flagged concerns about the application from the drug maker, including problems with the reliability of some of the company's data and signs women had trouble understanding the labeling instructions. An advisory panel will vote next week on whether it should be approved for over-the-counter use.